What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. It is Sunday, which means it's time for another installment of the CD collection. We dipped into the H section last week, and we're just going to continue running with that. I'm sorry if my teeth get to chattering and all that good stuff. It is cold here in West Tennessee today. It is 24 degrees this morning. That's Fahrenheit. For you people everywhere else besides the U.S., I know we're stubborn with our measurements. I think that's roughly like -4, -4.5 degrees Celsius. It's cold. I do have the heat on, but there's two giant windows right next to me here in my recording room, so it does keep it kind of keeps it a bit colder than the rest of the house up here. If my nipples happen to pop off and shoot the camera during this video, I do apologize, but there's nothing else I can do about that. Just going to get right into this. The first band that we're going to jump on here is Hands of Despair with their debut full-length Hereafter. This was released through Deathbound Records 2015. I haven't heard anything from Deathbound Records in a little bit of time, so I'm not sure if that label is still going or not. This is pretty solid black metal, kind of progressive-y black metal. I believe this band's out of Canada. I could be wrong on that, though. And this is their second full-length entitled Bereft. I really enjoyed this one. This is probably my favorite of the two full-lengths from this band that I own. I don't have anything else from them. This one came out, I'm wanting to say, probably about 2017. I think they have two more full-lengths. I believe they just had one come out last year, but I just haven't I haven't even listened to those, so I need to get on that and check out that newer material. But I do like those full-lengths that I do own quite a bit. Next up, we have a band called Handsome Prick with Anonymityville. Yeah, I cannot say that word. I apologize. Anonymity. Yeah, that's one of those words that I should not struggle with the way that I do, but I do struggle with it, and I've never been able to say that word. So I'm just going to let you read that. So now that I've made myself sound kind of retarded, there we go. Handsome Prick. This is grindcore. It's like 16 tracks. I believe it's roughly 16 tracks. I'm not going to count all those, but it comes in at about a half hour. Kind of abrasive. The vocal stuff on this is absolutely insane. I mean, it's not an easy listen, especially if this is not a type of music that you're into. You will probably hate this, but I mean, it's some wild stuff. Next up, we have Hank Williams III with Hillbilly Joker. Have not listened to this in quite some time. I used to like this. This came out in 2011. Funny enough, I really haven't listened to Hank the Third very much at all since I got sober. So take that for what it is. It just doesn't hit the same. And then we have Hank the Third with Ghost to a Ghost. This one's a bit more bluesy. Leans a bit more into that country style of stuff. But yeah, there we go. Honestly, I have not listened to either one of those in quite some time. Next up, we have a band out of Greece. This is Hannibal with This Is You. Kind of a hard rock. They kind of lean into like a traditional style heavy metal at times. Almost feels like that 80s hard rock. It definitely has that almost glammy feel going on at times. Some groove type stuff hits with this as well. A pretty decent listen. I do like it. I have not listened to it in quite some time, but it's not bad. Very catchy stuff. Very accessible style of music. Not super heavy at all, but it's a pretty decent listen. Next up, we have some folky black metal. I believe this band is out of France. This is Hanternaz with a title that I am not even going to attempt because it's not in English. You guys can see that there, how long that title is. I would butcher that if I tried to pronounce that. Pretty decent black metal, very abrasive. Kind of go from extremes there from that last album that I showed to this one. This is also, I mean, if you're like into beginning black metal, you haven't listened to a ton of black metal, this is probably not going to be up your alley because this can get over the top at times. It's pretty good. I believe Bono at Good Music Promotions. I think he likes this band. I think I sent him some stuff from this band at one point. But I mean, it's pretty good. I do like it. There's a lot going on. It's a lot to take in. This is just an EP. I think this came out in 2013. It's got actually tracks from two separate EPs, one from 2013 and one from 2012. It's good stuff. It's not beginner black metal. We'll just put it that way. Next up, we have some Death Doom. This is an EP that came out in 2019 from Harsh Realm entitled Beyond Torment. I absolutely love this little EP. Harsh Realm, let's get on the ball. We need a full length. They've released, I think, 2 singles since this little EP, and that's it. I am dying to hear a full length because this is absolutely phenomenal. Killer stuff from Harsh Realm. So, Harsh Realm, if this gets back to you, any of you guys, let's do it. Let's get on that full length ASAP. Next up, we have a band out of Japan. This is their debut full length. Came out in 2003. I'm wanting to say. Yeah, wow, I was right for a change. This is Hate Beyond with Perpetual Pain. This is kind of a death-infused thrash metal. At times has that old school death metal feel going on. Other times leans, for the majority of it, I would say it leans more into a thrash metal style. But killer stuff. They kind of disbanded or took a hiatus. They started releasing material again, I think, in 2013. But this is the only, I guess it was a decade after this particular album came out. But this is the only release that I own from them. I do like this. It is a good kind of throwback sounding album. Definitely fits in for the time period that it came out. Maybe sounds like it came out a few years prior. I mean, it came out in 2003, but it has that late 90s, very early turn into the 2000 sound going on. Next up, we have a 4-way split. I just have this filed here under the name of the split. This is the title of the split is The Hate Divide. It has Coathanger Abortion, Sacrificial Slaughter, and Rottenness. 3 pretty prominent bands on this split. I might have said a 4-way split. It's a 3-way split. I don't know if I said that or not. Pretty good stuff. I'm not the biggest person on splits. I don't know what my aversion to splits are. It has to be killer sets from all of the bands involved for me to just be completely on board with the split. But sometimes I would almost just rather it be split up into individual EPs. But this one's pretty good. This jewel case has seen better days, so I got to be careful with it. Rick over at the Dreadful Minutes is a lifesaver. He messaged me out of the blue and offered to send me some replacement jewel cases because I am out. And so many of mine just got completely obliterated during the move. So very much looking forward to those coming in. And Rick is just an awesome dude. Next up, we have this is Hate Division with Strategy of Obsolescence. This is the debut full length from Hate Division. Kind of grindy death metal, death grind type stuff. Very nasty, hate-driven stuff. I do like this. I think they have one more full-length that may have come out after this, but this is the only material from this band that I own. I haven't listened to this one in a little bit. I need to dust this one off and revisit it because I definitely I don't remember anything negative about this. I remember liking this quite a bit. I kind of wore it out a little bit when I first got it, maybe burnt myself out on it a little bit, but definitely need to revisit that one. Next up, a band that I'm always back and forth with, maybe because this was my introduction to this band, maybe that's why I have a bit of an aversion to them, because I'm not just head over heels into this album. This is Haiti Tunnel with Fury and Flames. This is probably, in my opinion, this band's worst full length. And this was my only exposure to Haiti Tunnel for quite some time. I want to get some of their earlier full lengths. I think some of their first albums, in my opinion, sound quite a bit better just from some of the other stuff that I've heard. But this one, I mean, it's just, I don't know if it's the production mix or what. It's just something feels off to me on Fury and Flames. I do also own Infernus. This one was quite a step up and quite a bit better than Fury and Flames. And after I heard this one, I wanted to kind of dig a little bit deeper into their material, but this is the only other album that I own. This one came in that deluxe box set with the flag and all that stuff. I believe there's a patch. Yeah, I don't want it to fall out. It came with a patch that's in there. They actually have the download code on this little card there in the middle. I don't think that card has ever even been removed. I probably will never even use that download, but it's in there if I ever want it. Next up, we have some disbanded black metal. I forget, this band's out of the U.S. Chicago. Okay, it said it right there on the inside. I think all of the members left except for one, and then they just called it quits. This is Hate Meditation with their only full length entitled Scars. This is some nasty stuff, like some blistering. I mean, you can just look at that and get an idea of what you're into as far as the music is concerned. I really do like this. It's a shame that the band disbanded. It's funny how many solo black metal projects there are, especially with music kind of in this vein of black metal. For some reason, maybe just with these ideologies, and all this stuff going on, maybe some of these musicians just aren't the easiest to work with, especially with each other. I think you could have the kind of conflicts and styles and stuff going on, because it's funny how many of those bands just end up as solo projects. Next up, we have a band out of Detroit. This is Hate Unbound with Darkness Becomes All. This was released in 2020. This is their debut full length, I think. I think they have one more after this that's come out. This is the only one that I own. Groove metal, death metal fused with groove metal. It's pretty decent. I do like this. I picked this up off of Bandcamp. At some point, I may explore that other full length as well. But I do like this one. I was drawn into this from the artwork. That artwork's what kind of suckered me in and made me listen to it. And I like the music enough to go ahead and grab myself a copy of that. Next up, a band that this is Hatebreed with Supremacy. This is the only Hatebreed album that I own. Not knocking people that enjoy Hatebreed. I have one Hatebreed album, and for me, it feels like I have them all, because a lot of their material just sounds the same to me. That may make some folks mad, but it's just, for me, that's just what it is. For me, you hear one Hatebreed album, you've heard them all. I actually saw these guys live. They played with Typo Negative on the Jägermeister tour years and years and years ago. And it was pretty funny. That was an odd mix for me as far as bands were concerned. You could definitely see which people in the crowd were there to see Hatebreed, and which bands and which people in the crowd were there to see Typo Negative. It was just a very interesting mix of people, and I've never seen so many wife beater, camo short wearing people in my life. Moving on. Next up, we have some Swiss black metal. This is Hate Sworn with their demo entitled 2 Long Gone. This is some pretty good stuff. This came out in 2011. Very raw stuff. This is the only thing that I own from this project. I really haven't looked too much deeper into this. I believe this was in that big VCLT box that Marty Worm sent me. I did like this quite a bit. I just haven't jumped any deeper into the band's discography. Kind of hard to find their material, to be honest. I had to do some digging to find some info on that project. Next up, the next several are all going to be from the same project. This is a traditional heavy metal, have some kind of doomy influences going on as well. Band out of California. This is Haunt with their debut EP entitled Luminous Eyes. This was my introduction to Haunt. I guess it's a good way to start when you start at the very beginning. This EP came out in 2018. I believe I got this through the Metalhead box, and this was, like I said, this was my introduction to Haunt. Trevor William Church, this guy, man, he's got his hands in so many different he's got so many different projects going on all at once, and he churns out music so fast. I mean, the Haunt releases, you get like one or two a year, and it is impossible to keep up with everything this guy's got going on. And so much of his stuff sounds so good. It's insane to me how he can have so many ideas and be able to put those into fruition and get those out. But this is probably my favorite release from Haunt, and it is their debut. So if you're looking at a place, this band doesn't have a lot of releases at this point. If you're looking for a good jumping in, good starting point, I say start from the beginning, because you're going to get the very best stuff right there at the beginning. My favorite full length came out directly after that. It is entitled Burst Into Flame. I'm sure some of you, if you're not, even if you're not familiar with the band, I'm sure you've seen that album art and that album cover kind of posted around, because this one definitely made the rounds when it came out. Killer stuff here. I do like this. As I said, it is my favorite full length from this project. I think Luminous Eyes is my favorite release as a whole, but that's just probably for a nostalgia feel. I mean, when you get that introduction to a band and it's something you really like, you kind of hold that first listen kind of dear to you. I think that's why I kind of hold Luminous Eyes up on a bit of a pedestal. But Burst Into Flame is a killer full length. Then we have the EP that followed that. This one is Mosaic Vision. This one's pretty good. I haven't really spent a ton of time with this one, to be honest. It kind of fell a little flat when I first listened to it, and I liked it. It didn't have that replay value that some of the other releases tended to have for me. Then I have the second full length. This was If Icarus Could Fly. Killer stuff here from Haunt. This one almost has a bit more of a doomy feel for me. This kind of has, sometimes it kind of leads into a bit more of a Beastmaker, one of his other projects. I could see like the Coalition. I could see the progression, I guess, leaning into that project. I don't know if Beastmaker had been. This came out in 2019, so I think Beastmaker was in full swing at that point. But I don't know. I could see some of those ideas going with that. And then the last one that I own, this is Mind Freeze. This is probably my second favorite. I do my second favorite full length. Let me get that straight. This one is a killer release as well. Almost a bit of progressiveness going on this particular release, but I do dig this quite a bit. And that's all. That's where I kind of fell off in picking up the full lengths. At some point, I'll have to get on Shadow Kingdom Records or Hell's Headbangers and dig up, because at this point, this came out in 2020. There's probably 4 or 5 more full lengths that have been put out at this point in the last almost 3 years. Next up, band out of Sweden. This is The Haunted with their full length entitled Revolver. Kind of groovy, melodic death metal. I really do like this. This is probably my favorite full length from The Haunted. This is actually the only one that I still own. I rehomed some of their other material, like The Haunted made me do it, and there was another one that I had at one point, but this is the only one that I really just decided to hang on to. I do like this one. The others I could hit or miss. I mean, I could have or not have. Next up, a band that I still need their debut full length. There for a while, it was impossible to get your hands on any of their material. I'm going to butcher this band's name. Havoc Runo. Yeah, that's probably wrong. With Kel Erit Oi. Yeah, this is their second full length on Nuttermock Productions. My favorite release from this band, black metal, pagan black metal, folky. I'm sure you've already... if you're into black metal at all, you've already heard this band. I love this. This is definitely my favorite release from them. I do still want to get my hands on that debut full length. I think they're up to 3 represses on CD format on that first full length, which is absolutely insane in this day and age. So when you've having to do 3 represses, you know that you've got some good stuff on your hands. I believe this was a repress of the second full length. At one point, this was almost impossible to get your hands on as well. I also have their third full length. I can try to pronounce this, but it's going to be wrong, so I'm not. You know what? We're just going to show it. Like, you could see the track titles there on the back and see my plight here. That there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce that stuff. I have a hard enough time pronouncing English words right. So this one is very solid as well. And then I have their newest EP. This came out 2021. I think they had a single or two that have come out following this. Maybe not. I don't think so. I think they had this title track as a single before this, and then they released the EP. They put an EP together, and I'm not going to. It's right there. That's the name of the EP at the bottom. Obviously, I'm not going to try to pronounce that one either. Very good. This one, the style changed a little bit. Almost it's hard for me to explain that title track. It has a very depressive feel for me. It doesn't feel like depressive black metal, but for me it has a much more kind of a melancholy feel than some of their prior material. So next up we have some thrash metal, a little bit of everything in this particular section of the CD collection. This is Hazard with Delirium. This is their last full length. Their latest full length came out in 2020. At one point, I did have their debut full length. I did sell that one before the move. I was trying to get some cash together for odd and end things. Moving is expensive, but I do still have this second full length. I believe all of my Hazard material that I've gotten, I got all through the Metalhead box. I mean, pretty decent modern thrash. Pretty decent release there. Next up, we have some, I guess this is just a hard rock band. This is He Is Legend with Suck Out the Poison. I saw a band called, you guys probably already know, I saw Maylene and the Sons of Disaster open for, I forgot who they were opening for. It's been many, many years ago. But their singer was out, and the singer for He Is Legend was filling in. So I enjoyed the set that Maylene put on. And I enjoyed his vocals up there, filling in on the Maylene tracks. So I went ahead and picked up this full length. I haven't listened to it in quite some time, to be honest with you, but it's decent. And then last but not least, we have Head Trauma with Psychotic Episode. This is some groove metal, thrashy groove metal. Features... I got to laughing hysterically to myself this morning when I opened this up and was going through this. It's got Desmond. I don't know how well that picture is going to... man, that camera's not going to pick that picture up. I was speaking of wife beaters and camo shorts. We've got Desmond there from early Malignancy. He was on a ton of Malignancy albums. Mortician. He was on Zombie Apocalypse and Chainsaw Dismemberment, I think. But that picture had, that looks like he's got the Slayer flag behind him, holding a beer, camo shorts and a wife beater, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and his head shaved. And if I didn't know better, if I was out searching for bands that look sketchy, that right there, like the alarms would be going off. I was like, that's got some Aryan, that's got some NS vibes going on. I don't think I've never heard anything tying him to anything like that. But that picture just had me rolling. I got to laughing. So I don't know why that tickled me and made me laugh like it did, but that picture is absolutely perfect. I might have to try to recreate that at some point. Of course, that'd have to be a non-alcoholic beer, but I will try to. I think if you follow my Instagram, there may be a day in the future where that particular photo may have to be reenacted, because that's absolutely perfect. The CD itself, I guess the music, this was released on Crash Music. This has been out for many, many years. Probably, it doesn't have a date on it, but I'm going to guess maybe 2011, if not even earlier than that. But a pretty decent slab of groove metal there. I got completely sidetracked and thrown off by that picture. That's all for this video. I will try to get some stuff uploaded this week. I say that every week and I don't get it uploaded. If nothing else, I'll be back next Sunday on Christmas to give you guys another dose of the CD collection. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal, have a good week, and I will see you guys very soon.